Okay,
Okay.
so good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for joining our Insta Live session today. It's fourth in the series of women who lead campaign that we're now doing. I'm Ela. I'm the founder of Ziba by Hand, and just to give you a background of what we're doing through these Insta Live sessions is getting together a few women who really inspire us in different genres. I know Ziba by Hand talks a lot about handmade and handloom and all of that, but we wanted these conversations to broaden our perspective a little bit because a lot of our followers are small businesses, makers. 80% of our followers are women. So we wanted these conversations to create an impact, to talk about not just what we're doing during quarantine and how our lives have changed, but also have discussions with people who really inspire us and learn a few things from them. So for example, last weekend we spoke to Mamta, we spoke to the Suta girls about running small businesses and about influencer marketing and sari sisterhood and all of that. But today I'm really glad that we have Chinna ma'am joining us. And we've all been great admirers of her at Ziba by Hand for several reasons, because she has come across as such a multi-talented personality, from being a full-time doctor to being a mother, which we'll talk a little bit more about today. Also now that she says that she's really popular influencer and a sari blogger, and she's recently started, I believe, a YouTube channel as well, where she tastes, shares her. Okay, my mouth is already watering, but her cooking recipes and. So over to you, ma'am. If you can, just share a little bit about your life before I dig into some deeper questions.
Okay. I'm 60 years old. I turned 60 this year. And I am a Tamil, born into a Tamil family, born and raised in Delhi. But because I grew up in a mohalla culture, my next door neighbors were Bengalis. And I practically grew up in their place from the time I was 40 days old. They like kind of adopted me. So Bengali is more like a first language to me than Tamil. Till the age of 4, I could only speak Bangla and Hindi, not Tamil, because I would just come to my house to, get a feed from my mother. Otherwise, I would be stationed at my neighbor's house only. So I grew up in their house, got influenced by their food, and that's how, in spite of being a Tambram, we are pure vegetarians in my mother's house. But I got addicted to non-vegetarian because of the Bengali influence, and I also then got hooked on to Robindra Shungeet and Chama Shungeet. And the school I went to is Lady Irwin, and that had a Bengali section, and there were a lot of Bengali girls. So that also definitely influenced me. So my Hindi, in fact, most people can't even make out that I'm a Tamil, because I grew up in Delhi and went to a school which was a non-Tamil school. Later in class 9th, because we moved to far off colony, so because my father had retired, so that is when I had to change my school from Lady Irwin to the Tamil school, the DTA school. But I was very upset when I changed the school, because I was very fond of all my friends who were there in that Lady Irwin school. But this kind of worked out very well for me, because Lady Irwin school had a lot of extracurricular activities, and every year I would be a part of the Ramakrishna Mission elocution. Every single year from 6th to 6th, 7th, 8th, all the 3 subjects, Hindi, English, and Sanskrit, I won the recitation competition. And then I used to take part in a lot of extracurricular activities, singing, drama, everything. So when I moved to class 9th, I took up science, because I did not like any of the other humanities subjects excepting music. So I just couldn't stand social studies. So my music teacher, in fact, in Lady Irwin school, was very upset that I decided to take up science. So I took up science not because I had any love for science, but because I could not take up humanities. So once I moved to DTS school, because there were not any extracurricular activities, and also because I joined kind of a month late after the session had started. So I used to feel very lost in class. So I really worked hard for the first time in my life. I started standing first and second in class. So it was like nothing succeeds like success. So thereafter, I did very well in ninth, 10th, 11th, and my 11th board exams also I did very well. So it was by method of exclusion that, okay, I didn't want to go in for pure science. So it was going to be applied science. And since I had taken a biology was my favorite subject. So I decided to do medicine. In fact, my sister, who elder to me, who's a doctor and she's a surgeon, she did not even want me to be a doctor because she felt that I had eclectic interests, and medicine would tie me down and would prevent me from doing other things. In fact, I remember telling her that you're jealous of me, you want to be the only one who should be a doctor in the family. Whereas I remember when what we call as three professional exams that we have in medicine: first professional, second and third. So first was, you have a lot of dry subjects like anatomy, physiology and all. And I remember when she came home from the hostel and she said, oh God, you can still quit if you don't like it. I did hate it, but I said, no, I'll finish it. I'm not going to quit. So that's how it was. So medicine just happened to me, science just happened to me. But luckily for me, I was able to pursue my music. So in the third year, it's a little lighter year. Now things have changed, so I decided that I will pursue my music. So that time I started learning Carnatic music. So that way, I have had Hindustani vocal, classical, and Carnatic classical, and also Rabindra Sangeet, Shama Sangeet. So it's been, and I of course love Western music. In fact, my mother used to get very upset because my brother, who is in the States, he had got me a two-in-one those days. That was called two-in-one, a tape recorder come radio. And I used to be playing it. We used to have these programs called Date With You, Forces Request, and In the Groove. And I would play it. And because I was tired from college and all, I would go off to sleep in the morning. And 11 o'clock, the radio stations would shut. So there would be no sound coming from the radio. In the morning, suddenly there would be the cool sound. And she would say, oh God, again you didn't switch off the radio at night, because I would go off to sleep. I've always been fond of music, so it was like that. I had to, forever be listening to music. It was like that for me. So that was my journey. And after that, after I finished medicine, then pretty soon, in fact, I met my husband and I got married to him. And my marriage, we met and got married on the 14th day. That was my 7th meeting. It was a whirlwind romance, literally. And it was the next day after my marriage, I came to know that my husband sings, and sings like a dream. So that was like, I couldn't thank God enough for that, because I felt that here was somebody who would join me. And so we have never rehearsed, excepting for some programs recently for a cause or something that we have sung. Otherwise, we have never rehearsed, always been spontaneous. And I just thank God for that, that I have a husband who also shares my interest in music and sings beautifully. Then after my marriage, we had two children. So one of them is already married. Both of them are above 30. And right now they are visiting us because of the corona lockdown. They had come, but my elder one got stuck. The younger one had decided to come because she didn't want to be stuck alone in Bombay. So touch wood, there is a flip side to everything. So in spite of the sad part that, we are all locked down at home, but we are having a good time having each other's company. So
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so I think since we were really going to focus on being mother, and how that really changed your life. So that's actually going to be my first question on when your first child was born, and how did it really impact you? Were you ready for it, or do you feel that that was probably the toughest job you did? How did you decide to juggle motherhood,
no,
while
see,
also being a doctor at the same time?
yeah. So I, after my marriage, I got married when I was doing my house job. And then year after that, I did another house job, which was in gynecology, because gynecology was really my first love. But I'm now very thankful that I didn't take up gynecology, because given the kind of social life that we have and the eclectic interests that I have, I don't know how much I would have been able to attend to all that. It would have been very hectic. Whereas radiology was a relatively lighter field for me. So we had decided that both of us had decided. My husband is also very fond of children, and we had decided we'll have two children, be it two girls, two boys. That doesn't make a difference. One girl, one boy, but we will have two children. It was a perfectly planned thing. Like 2 years after our marriage, we decided that we will have a child. So 1983, I got married in June, and in June in 1985, our elder one Bakul was born, and in 89 Malika was born. And for me it was very important to bring up my children myself and be a part of that. That is why I decided that my career would take a back seat for the time being. So both the times when my children were born, 1985 and 89, I decided to quit work. Okay. That was a personal choice. Nobody forced me into it, but I was not satisfied leaving my children in the care of my domestic help. And my mother in law was at home, and she was extremely loving, and she would have taken care of my children very well. That was no problem. But it was my, personal trip that I wanted to be there. So both the times I did not go to work for about 3 years. It was only when Malika started going to a play school, she went to the nursery, the laboratory school, which is attached to the Lady of Win College, and so did Bakul. And only then I decided that I would like to get back to work. So that is when I joined Divanchand Agarwal, and it was just like as an observer I joined, because it was close to the college. This was on Sikandra Road, and Divanchand Agarwal Imaging Center was on Kasturba Gandhi Marg. So it worked very well. And there was a very nice daycare. And since Bakul had also gone to the daycare, so I was quite comfortable with that. So I did a 8:30 to 5 job at Divanchand Agarwal Imaging Center. Then Malika also got into modern school. After that, say for 3 years, I had a full-time job like 8:30 to 5. But then because, I had that itch inside that I have to take care of my children myself. So I spoke to my boss and shifted again to a half day. So the children would go with me, they would come back with me, and so I was there with them. So I think I never ever regret that decision of my life.
So, during their initial growing up years, or maybe even now, what was the most challenging part of being a mother? Like, I know when the kids are small, of course, they fall sick and all of that. But on a broader level, in terms of carving out their personalities or their education, or imparting certain values. What do you think was probably one of the most difficult things that you had to deal with?
See, I'll tell you one thing. I'll be pretty honest about this, because I was a total prude, okay, and my values of morality and all were very different. Whereas when I got married, my husband is a very liberal-minded person, and I have learned a lot of things from him, and he kind of prepared me for today's times. Otherwise, I would have probably been a misfit, and I would have been very stressed out. Okay, so because he had moved around in the theater circle in National School of Drama and all, and so he talks a lot of sense, and so he kind of geared me up in a way that you have girls, but they had complete freedom. Okay, and they could not have asked for a better father in a way, because the kind of person that he is, they can talk to him about anything on earth without any problems. The same thing with me also, they can talk. So we have a very very free kind of a relationship at home. So it's not that, okay, because papa is there, mama is there, this language is not to be used. That is not there with us at all. So we have no my husband always felt that there's no point in being a hypocrite. Okay, so this was something which was a revelation for me, because that was not how it was with between him and his parents, or between me and my parents for that matter. So this was a generational change, but it kind of worked out very well because of his attitude. So I think I will give him a lot of credit for that. And because of that, I was very cool. But one thing we both concurred on was, and I think it also had a lot to do with the fact that my husband is a celebrity. He's a great success, and his in terms of his knowledge, he's amazing. Though in terms of his marks, if you see, like he always says that in his higher secondary he got a 48.3% or so, but and also neither did he do very well in his BA English and masters in English literature, but in terms of his knowledge, be it Hindi, English, Urdu, Punjabi literature, he's amazing. So whereas I was one of those kind that okay, पढ़ते रहना है, and you know, do very well in terms marks was a very big thing, but it was not like that with him. So it kind of taught me that success is not to be measured in terms of the marks, and knowledge is certainly not to be measured in terms of marks. His knowledge is like unbelievable, and because of that it added to my knowledge. Of course I read in school, and otherwise also English literature, because my sister did English literature, so we had a lot of books at home and also, but a lot of Hindi literature, or a lot of Punjabi, Bulle Shah and fairs in Urdu literature, and a whole lot of other Ghalib and all. That was all thanks to him that I got exposed to that. And that is why I'm so fond of fairs, and I sing fairs a lot. All that happened, it was only because of him, you know. So I think I will give him full credit for doing this, you know, for bringing out this change in my life, you know. So I was very free with my children also, but also one thing I would like to add is that what both of us had concurred on was that, you know, who are we to tell our child or decide? Many people say, na, मैंने तो अपने बच्चे को बोला डॉक्टर बनना है, इंजीनियर बनना. Who are we to decide? It is their life. We are nobody to decide what any child should be. They are not something which has to be programmed. No, it doesn't work like that. That is why sometimes they are ill fit. You know, children are very ill fit because they want to do say they want to take up humanities, or they want to take up painting or drawing, but the parent feels no, this is what you should do, you should have a skill, or but they have their reasons. I'm not saying that they don't have a reason. The child may be a complete misfit, and that can cause a lot of mental trauma to the child. So we decided that do whatever you want to. Okay, in fact, I'll tell you my husband's lines to my children. कि फर्स्ट आना अच्छी बात है, बट फर्स्ट नहीं आना भी कोई बुरी बात नहीं है. आफ्टर ऑल जितने भी बच्चे हैं क्लास में, सब तो नहीं फर्स्ट आ सकते ना. तो आप जो भी कुछ करना चाहते हो करो, अपनी लाइफ को अच्छे से एंजॉय करो, एंड you know, try to gain as much from your environment, and whatever experiences are very important, try to come within first 10. If that doesn't happen, it's okay, but do whatever you want to do, but do it very well. So, and my elder one is a total academic in terms of marks and all that. And look at Malika, she is such a success story. And my daughter, elder one, you know, she may not be on the net or something, but she's absolutely brilliant. You know, she's a clinical psychologist, throughout a gold medalist, and also it's really nice. I can't ask for more. Touch wood, by the grace of God.
Yeah, I think the fact
and
that
I don't think that we are in any way responsible for it. We have to let them be free. That's what is important, is what I feel.
Yeah. See, I think, you know, that's what the Khalil Gibran said, right? Like, they come through you, not from you. So the fact that, you know, you just let them be, like you said, and I think they just ended up excelling in, you know, whatever they chose to do in their life. So
exactly,
but you know,
it's their life after all.
Yeah. So, ma'am, I just you know,
parents never decided for me that I should be a doctor. Never, ever. Yeah. So I think that kind of worked, you know. And as far as my husband is concerned, he was in a totally different line of beat. My in-laws, probably my parents-in-law, did not understand what kind of a line that was, but they were completely supportive of that. Yeah. Otherwise, he could not have become what he has become. So.
Yeah. So, so tell us about your journey as an influencer. Like, you know, why did you decide to join Instagram, and you know, why saris, and you know, what was the you know, what inspired you to suddenly, you know, try out different saris and weaves, and you know, share your pictures?
Well, nothing was sudden. I must tell you that I belong to an era where my, especially being from a Tamil family, so my mother, my sisters, we are 5 sisters, so everybody, my sisters would wear sari to work, and because of my Bengali influence also, Bengalis are so much into saris. So I was in that era where women around me were wearing saris, okay? And I went to a Bengali school, so Saraswati Puja on Basant Panchami used to happen, and kids in junior school would wear a dupatta converted into a sari and come to school by school bus, and everything would be paid nicely because it was an event. So that's how I remember, I think probably in class 3 or something, my sisters also, they were very fond of dressing me up, and so they had also tied a dupatta into a sari. Then this Bengali family where I grew up, mama is what I used to call the gentleman who kind of adopted me. So he had got me a sari from Kolkata, a small sari. And I remember wearing that and going to school so happy with myself. And Mama used to gift me a sari on he used to give me a gift on my birthday and on Durga Puja. So from the time I was 11 in class 6, I remember he would give me a sari every Durga Puja and every birthday because he thought that this is how I'll build up my collection. And I remember my sisters used to be so fond of that sari, and I felt one up. Okay, I would say that you dare not wear my sari without asking me. I would love to share it, but you have to ask me for my permission before you wear it. So when I was in college in Lady Harding also, so it was the norm that not only me, a lot of Bengali friends of mine, I met a lot of my Lady Irwin school friends in college. So everybody would be wearing saris to college, and imagine going traveling by DTC bus, and I used to stay almost an hour away from college, but I would wear it and last it out the whole day, even go for movies and all. And sometimes one had to run and get into the buses, and one would do that. So I was
Yeah.
always very, very fond of saris. And of course, handloom is what we all really were fond of. And then after that, what happened that when I got married, my husband is very, very fond of saris, and he has a great taste. So he would gift me a lot of saris. Whichever state he would travel to, he would get me handlooms from there. So that built up my collection. Then when Facebook started, I remember that many people, my children never ever said anything to me that okay, oh, you should not be on Facebook. But I remember my friends telling me कि हमारे बच्चे तो बहुत गुस्से होते हैं, वो कहते बिल्कुल नहीं मम्मा आप नहीं आओगे Facebook पे और. But my children have never said that. Neither have they ever told me don't color, why don't you color your hair, nothing of this sort. So we all are in our orbits and we let all each other be. So that is one thing. So when I joined Facebook in 2008. So I started posting whenever I would go out to a party or something. Then only I would get pictures, and they were very, very poor quality because we had those pathetic phones those days. All the small
Yeah.
cameras also were terrible. So I would post those, and I remember I would hear comments from friends that usne kaha, isne kaha ki, such a narcissist that she's posting her pictures. Soon, before one knew, everybody was on Facebook. People were posting their pictures. It was okay suddenly. But I don't know why, because I had started pretty early. People felt that, oh, it was that I was being a narcissist by posting my pictures. But I couldn't give a shit about it. So I kept posting. Then my children were on Facebook also. And all. I remember one day, because I'm very systematic, I would make albums. Even if it were 2 photographs, I would make an album. So my daughters were discussing, oh God, we are so embarrassed. Our mother has 200 albums on Facebook. It was maybe 2 photographs or something, but I put it up like that. Then after that, Instagram happened and Malika had become a celebrity. And all. Malika said, Mama, I had joined Instagram ages ago, but I had only one picture there. And I felt that there was nothing happening there. But in the meantime, lot had happened there. And then Malika had become really big because of Instagram. And then she told me that, Mama, you have to be on Instagram. I said, Beta, I'm not able to handle this. And I'd already joined Sari group. So I said, Mama, Malika, let it be. So she said, one day she took the phone from me when I'd gone to Bombay. And she said, that was 1st of April. And I think that was 2017. She said, Mama, you are going to start posting. That's it. So she made she put up pictures that particular day. And next day, I was overwhelmed by the response, and there was no looking back after that. So that's how it happened. I was already posting on Sari groups because I was part of that, and I'd done pretty well in Sari groups. So it was not as if I started suddenly. There was nothing sudden about it. I was
Yeah.
always into saris. Yeah.
So, and then how did you deal with the popularity on social media? Because see, even right now, I see so many people sending you so much love in the comments, but there are also some strange people who leave a lot of negativity in the comments, which doesn't leave a very good taste, in our lives, and it has happened to us as well, and and everybody has different personalities. Some people are really sensitive and, they take it to their heart. But, what is your advice, and, how to deal with both maybe good and bad news? Because, not let it, take it up to your head, or not let it, make you lose your sleep overnight.
Absolutely. See, it is like I compare it to, sorry to use this example, but dogs barking on the street. Are we going and shutting each dog which is barking on the street? We don't. So what do we do? Today also, there was such a nice, touching post about my mother's birthday on the 18th of April, which is when I wore a sari which she had gifted me, and I made a I've started doing the cookery videos for YouTube. So I decided to make a sweet which my mother would make very well. And somebody wrote, it's a different matter that I reported the comment, but it was something so stupid, using foul language and saying that, what do you mean they're partying in heaven? What do you mean by partying in heaven? Yeah, none of us know if there is a heaven or hell. None of us even know that. It's all there in our mind, but that's how it is. We say rest in peace, or may your soul rest in peace. Is there a soul or not? None of us know. But why be negative? There was nothing that I wrote there which could have provoked this kind of a negativity. Everybody had written good things. So I felt that, okay, maybe somebody's had a bad day. It's okay. We all tend to displace our anger sometimes, and we think that's the way of venting it. But then if I start responding to it, it's like when you fling a stone in a puddle, what happens? You also get it back. No, so it's best to stay away. So why indulge in that and spoil your own peace of mind also?
Yeah. But
So it's
do
best to
you
leave it.
take these numbers seriously? Like, how many followers you're getting, or, even Malika, for example, like, oh, we've got so many followers now. Does that really affect you? Because there's so much on Instagram, people buy followers, or, there are people who have very, okay profiles, but they have great number of followers. Does that, affect you in any way, or, is it something that
No,
we're just
I'll say,
here to have fun?
uh, I'll tell you one thing. See, all of us definitely feel flattered, no, if we have people who love us or who have followers. So it was like that for me. When I joined sari groups also, and I started getting so many comments, people started loving my bindi or sari or my styling or something. And to a lot of them, they were in awe of the fact that I'm a doctor and also doing this. And then people were in awe of the fact that I'm married to a celebrity or mother of a celebrity and all that. Okay, that's all right. Yeah, it's all part of the game. It's okay. But so I remember when I got 10,000 followers, it was a high, it was a lovely feeling. I remember that. And Malika also put up the post that what I took 4 years to achieve, my mother has achieved in 11 months. Okay, it was a nice feeling. 10,000, 20,000, then it was fine. Recently, in fact, last year, I started getting some DMs about buying followers. That was the first time I came to know. I was pretty shocked. I told Malika, I said, what nonsense is this? Yeah, you have to see people buy followers. She said, of course, Mama, people do buy followers. After that, I just gave up. I said, what am I even excited about? Yeah. And mine now, after I reached 25, uh, after that, it's been a slow thing. Okay, it's fine. There are certain things that people like about me. I don't expect the whole world to like about me. If there is something people will like, fine, they'll get added to it. If not, it's fine. It's absolutely fine. I'm not going to get into the game of numbers. I still remember the first time I started posting. There is this Instagram handle by the name Rinam, Ninam,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah.
So the girl who's handling it, and she had sent me a DM that she wanted to send me a couple of gifts, and I did not even understand the concept of collaboration at that time. I remember I just wrote to her. I said, "Excuse me, you don't know me. I don't know you. How can you even think of sending me a gift, and I don't accept gifts from strangers?" And I remember telling, because Malika was my guide at that time, I told Malika, I said, this is what she said. Mama, you are so insensitive, how can you do this to anybody? She's written to you so lovingly. That's how Instagram works. And I remember telling Malika, I said, Malika, no, I can't do it. She said, no, Mom, please be nice about it. That's how I got into it. Now it was for a year, it was very nice and all. And now as it is, I had a huge collection. Now I can't afford to collect more. These barters, go on adding so much of stuff to your collection. There are people who still give me gifts, my friends with love or something. But I remember even telling my husband, who would be traveling to various states, that after this, please don't get me any more gifts, because I said I have no place to keep them. My girls are not into saris. If at all they wear, occasionally they pick up something and wear, but they're not going to be wearing all these saris. Why am I collecting this? And I remember my husband, one trip he listened to me. Next trip he still went and bought two more, and then when he came back, he says, if you don't allow me to buy saris for you, I will look for somebody for whom I can buy saris. That was the threat. So it was very loving on his part.
Yeah.
But I feel that we have to be practical. Now I managed to convince him that no birthdays, no anniversaries, nothing, no buying. There's only so much that you can deal
Yeah.
with. Why go on collecting more? And it's a lot about sustainability. I have grown up in a middle class and in a large family with only one person earning, that was my father. So it was limited resources, so there was no question of wasting anything. So we would all I would wear a lot of hand me downs, and it was a lot of sharing. So that's how I've grown up. So I don't get excited with too much of stuff. It is a pain now to take
Yeah.
care of so much stuff. I'm glad, at least in spite of having taken a sabbatical in the month of August 2019, because I'm doing these cookery videos. So I'm wearing a sari every day at home. So I feel nice, at least I'm using them. Otherwise, there's that guilt, oh God, what am I doing with so much of stuff? You know. And some of them are really nice. I just can't, give it away just like that also. It depends. I have to find the right person who's going to value that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
But I think
So
Malika
that's what
and
I
your
feel.
daughters have a great, they've inherited a great sense of style from you. So, you're creating heirlooms for
They have a
them.
different style. They're very stylish. Like today
Yeah.
also they felt that, Mama, the bindi is too much. I said, excuse me, the bindi will remain where it is.
Yeah. Somebody was
Because,
in fact just asking in the
I can't
comments.
show you, or maybe, I have to turn my back to show that why I'm wearing this kind, I've drawn this kind of bindi. I'll just show you
Sure.
if you
Yeah.
can, if you can see this.
Yeah.
Can you people see this?
Yeah.
The back,
Yeah. I can see
there
the
is a
upper half.
peacock.
Yeah. 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 We can see the peacock's wings.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
so that is how the peacock is there. And so I decided that, it has to be a peacock. And there is a peacock here also on the bazu
Yeah.
here, this patch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah.
so that's how I decided. I said, listen, I want to do this today. So इसको थोड़ा सा tone down कर दो. I said, no,
Beautiful.
nothing. So it's
Yeah.
all right. And even if I were going out, it's okay. It's not that because I'm at home, it's okay or something. And so everything has peacocks here. This is
Yeah.
from my friend Jayanti Nayak, Just J. So she
Yeah.
has an excellent collection of jewelry. It's not pure silver, but amazing stuff she has. So
Yeah.
I decided I'm going to wear that only. And this
I love
also,
peacocks.
the peacock.
Yes. Oh, is this an Amrapali? Is this
No, no, no.
it's,
This is all,
oh,
none of this is silver. This is all from
okay.
Just J. And she's in
Okay.
Bangalore. And after I ordered this and this from her, she's always very sweet. Whenever I order a set from her, suddenly I'll find that is a gift. So it's always a ring. And I don't know from where she finds a matching one for me.
Hmm.
But I made lovely friends thanks to the social media. So many of them remain still very, are virtual. But a lot of virtual friends have converted into real friends and are very dear friends.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's one part that I really like about you because, I've seen very, dichotomous personalities on social media. Like a lot of people pretend to be like great friends online, but in real life, they're very, they're big introverts and they don't really socialize that much. And but I think in your case, you've sort of extended your social media virtual friends, into real life,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is amazing.
In fact, I think I wrote that yesterday also that, I have always heard that after 50 you can't make friends, but I have really proved that to be wrong. Or in my case,